Welcome. I'm Siobhan Higgins, also known as Shavs. I'm a professional soccer player, and I've played at the top level of 4 different European countries. I'm also a sister, a daughter, a friend, a coach, and a yogi. Honestly, the list goes on depending on the day of the week. I recently graduated with my Master of Arts degree in Sports and Performance Psychology, and I also obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in Psychology. So, all of that to say, I believe that understanding yourself and others is key to enhancing your performance, whether you are an athlete or not. And then my goal is to use my unique background and experiences to basically overall enhance the lives of others. So whether that's you're an athlete or not, I'm hoping to contribute something to you and give you something to take away. So I hope that my podcast, Mind Goals, can serve as a platform to do all of 3 things. And 1, make you laugh. 2, story tell. And then 3, just educate or advise you on mental skills that I have found beneficial for myself and, help you out that way. So whether that be in or out of sports, I hope that I can make you laugh, story tell, or give you some mental tools to use. So before I tell you a little bit about myself, I wanted to explain some of my core values, which I hope to bring to each and every one of my talks. Values are important to me, and I just want to kind of set that as a guideline going forward. So my values are going to be honesty, authenticity, grit, and effort. So authenticity, and by this I mean being real, right? So I mean being real with yourself and others and not giving people a false impression of yourself. So if this is what you're seeing, this is what you're getting. If you were to meet me out in the streets, I would hope that this is the Siobhan that you would know, right? Like this, I'm not catfishing you. This is Chevs. 2 is honesty. The actual meaning of it is really like being sincere with yourself and others, because if you're not honest with me, how can I help you? And if I'm not honest with you, how can I help you, right? In the end, just trying to help each other out here. Honesty, I believe, is key. And then the 3rd one is grit. So grit's defined by the unyielding courage to basically face hardship, right? I think that you gain grit by going through shit. I think that it's earned and learned, and you're not just born with grit. Like, you have to overcome adversity in order to have that. So I definitely am hoping to be able to teach others how to go through it and gain grit. It's also an admirable quality, and I think that it gets a lot of respect from others. And then lastly, it's effort. So effort's obviously, or not, it's a conscious exertion of power, hard work, which comes from holding yourself to a standard regardless of if others are watching or not. I think that, of course, we all know effort is something that you can control yourself, and it can get you a long way or it cannot get you anywhere, depending on how much effort you exert. And for me, it's really important because I was never that star player from the get-go. I was never that A+ student from the get-go. I put in the effort. Like, I'm not just gifted and talented. I've earned my way here through a lot of effort and hard work. So those are my core values. Again, authenticity, honesty, grit, and effort. And I hope that I can display that through all of my talks. And then going a little bit more into the format, just because I want to be communicative and let you know what you're getting yourself into, is that I plan on being 100% myself. I'm going to storytell from Siobhan's perspective as an athlete. And then after, I'm going to kind of do a little debrief on what I would advise Siobhan, an athlete, to do, given the information that I now know, post-grad or post-talking to mentors or therapists or other people. And just after seeking advice, this is what in today's day and age Siobhan would advise older Siobhan. So that is kind of the format of how I plan on doing this. And then I'm going to plan on bringing on other people such as coaches, mentors, sports psychologists, therapists, really anything and anyone. I want to be able to continue the conversation around sports and mental skills so that we can all gain something from each other, because I think that's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, let's get into it. Episode 1, how did I get to Hungary? Yeah, that's a lot to unpack there, which I won't be able to tell everything in this one episode. However, I am so happy to have a guest on so we can kind of converse about this and get to know a little bit more about my experience in Hungary. Okay, so today we have a special guest who also was my college roommate and one of my teammates, Miss Rachel Bell.
Hi guys, I'm excited. We're going to talk all about Siobhan and soccer.
Yeah.
So can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, so today Rachel and I are just going to chat about how I got to Hungary and what that first month kind of looked like.
Yeah, because I think like all of us here, like we have no idea. Like you went from here to Hungary. So like how did that happen?
Okay, so I was actually like in New York at the time. I was with a friend and I was living in Atlanta. So this is important details. And I literally just got a phone call. I think it was like 9 p.m. at night. And I'm like, who's this random number calling me? I'll answer it. And someone answers with like a different accent I've never heard before.
I feel like it's spam.
Yeah, I know, right? And I think I had like a drink or two in me and I was just like, okay, who is it? Hello.
Yeah.
And I straight up was just like, okay, yes, this is Siobhan.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, well, you play soccer, right? And I was like, yeah. Okay. Oh, it could be a contract because that's how it works. People call you and they're just like, you got to drop everything and go.
At 9 at night.
At 9 at night. I couldn't tell you the day of the week, maybe a Tuesday. So yeah, funny accent. It was like, so there's a team looking for, the X position. Are you trying to play? Like, what's your situation? And I was like, oh, well, yes, this is Siobhan.
Let me sober up.
Yeah,
this is she.
This is she. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I am looking for a club. I was, a free agent at the time, waiting for somebody to call me, literally like that. Yeah. Except I was on a little vacation in New York, and yeah, so I was like, okay, give me some more details. Where is this exactly? And he said it was in Hungary. And my first thought was, I've never been there. I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I have a friend that was there. And he also mentioned, yeah, there's a couple Americans, there's somebody from Texas. And I was like, okay, who?
Let me know, yeah.
And it was like, it was Katie, one of my good friends. Was like, what? Of course, okay, yeah, I'm listening now. So Katie's there, I can talk to her about it. And he basically asked me, like, do you want to go? This is a position. This is a contract. We'll write it up tomorrow, but you need to leave in 4 days.
I'd be like, okay. Well, I think, like, we don't know that it happens, like, that fast. Because I'd be like, oh, maybe, like, a month. Like, give me time to decide. But, like, 4 days. Like, tell your parents. Get your stuff together. Like, no. Yeah,
and so for me, like, sometimes it does happen. You have, like, a month in advance or maybe a couple of weeks. But for the most time, you don't have that much time. So same things went through my mind. First of all, I was just about to move into a new apartment in Atlanta. And I was like, well, I just got some furniture. What do I do? My parents are in Houston. What do I do with that? So the next day I woke up, called them, told them about the contract because it was sent over like the next day. Looked good. I was like, think I should go.
I mean, it's not fake.
Yeah. I mean, and then I spoke to my friend and saw, what she was doing over there. She told me a little bit about it. I think at the time she was there for like 3 weeks already.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, guess I'm going. Let me return all the furniture I bought. And luckily I didn't sign a lease, which was kind of cool. It was like, I was going to live with some girls that I met on like Facebook.
Yeah.
They're really cool girls. I'm still friends with them. But I was like, so sorry, I'm moving across the world.
Like, we'll revisit when I come back.
Yeah.
But I just think that's insane. Like, I could not even imagine like that quickly. Like getting on a plane and going to Hungary. Wait, how long is the flight to Hungary?
I don't think I had a direct flight, but I want to say at least 9 hours. I think I flew into Frankfurt and then to Budapest. So maybe like 8.5 hours from Houston, or I went to Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah.
8 hours and then like a 3 or 4 hour flight. So it was kind of a long day of travel.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, I like packed everything. I'm like, what do you do? Because you're packing for 4 months. So for me, it was a short.
How do you pack? Because like me packing for 2 days is like, I'm going to be gone for 4 months. So I can imagine packing for 4 months.
Yeah, I packed basically. I think I did one big one big checked-in bag.
Yeah,
or maybe two. Two checked-in bags. Stole my sister's suitcase. Sorry, Joanna. She was like, by the way, I have missing my blue suitcase. I was like, yeah, it's with me in Europe. She was mad about that. But yeah, just pack a giant bag. You got to think, I mean, it was freezing over there.
Yeah.
It was snowing when I landed, and I was not equipped to play in that, but you roll with it. I was like, okay, I know I need leggings, I need gloves, whatever. Packed just basically all the stuff that I could. Nothing going out because you're not really like, maybe a few cute outfits. You can buy stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Did they tell you like beforehand, like your living arrangements when you get there and everything?
What a beautiful question. Oh God. They did not. They said I'm going to be living in an apartment with some teammates. So that's normally how it works is they give you like housing. You're either in one house and it's like a team house. People have different rooms. Sometimes you share a room. However, this time I did not have to do that. So they just basically said they were going to put me up in apartment housing. I knew that my teammate Katie had like a vacant room in hers, but she was like, it's really small. It's kind of like a closet, but it has a twin bed. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
What are the other options? And she was like, you'll see when you get there. And then same with Coach and AJ. And we're like, yeah, there's another room. You'll be fine, whatever. And I'm like, okay, clearly it's situated.
Yeah.
But when I did get there, what happened was Katie, by the way, she picked me up. No, my coach picked me up from the airport, drove me to this small town, which was like an hour and a half east of Budapest. And so just think small town. His English was okay. So we were able to have conversation in the car.
Yeah.
I was just like jet lagged. It's nighttime. I don't know where I'm going.
You don't know this man.
Don't know this man. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, looks like the WhatsApp picture. I think that's him. We stopped for a bite to eat. I was delusionally tired.
Wait, what's the food? What was the food like?
Food, I would rate it like 1 star. I don't want to be rude. It just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's another funny thing is like pregame meals and stuff. But the room wise, okay, so could we get there? He drops me off and he's like, you need to get on this train. Here's like a train ticket or the tram. So like think inner city tram.
Okay.
And to get from, stop to stop. And that's where I was going to meet Katie, the other.
With all your bags?
With all my bags. Yeah. So me by myself, like chugging this around. There's like 1 or 2 inches of snow. It's freezing.
Stop.
It's dark. Also, it's 2021 in February. So there's curfews around COVID for this time.
Yeah.
So it's like a desert.
I totally forgot about that.
It's ghost town.
Oh, God.
I meet Katie, get off the tram stop. And okay, then she's like, okay, come check out the living situation you're supposed to be in. And it kind of gives me these eyes, and I go, so I'm going to hate it. And it wasn't her apartment. It was someone else's. So we get there, chug my luggage up like 3 floors. My coach is like nowhere to be found at this point. It's just do it yourself.
Home. He's done. He's like, I've done enough.
I retrieved the American. She's good. We get here. Okay, Rachel. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, and there was somebody already living in there.
Wait. Okay, so what?
Yeah, so Katie escorts me to this 1-bedroom apartment where one of my Canadian teammates was already living.
Okay.
And my place where I was going to sleep was going to be in the like kitchen living room area.
Stop.
Yeah, there was just like imagine like a twin bed in the corner of a room. I looked at Katie, goes, yeah. So,
and this was the other option compared to Katie's option.
Correct.
Like,
and I had
with her.
And I had only seen stuff from Katie because she sent me a picture.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, there's storage in here for right now. I put my suitcase in there, but I can move it. And I was like, what? And this is tiny closet thing. But when I saw this studio setup, I was like, I'm not going to live in the living room where someone's going to come in and out. And like,
yeah, because the other girl, she was in the room.
She
right?
had a room,
Not her having a room.
I know. I was like, wow, I was so jealous. You have an actual room, and I think her bed
was like to have a door that closes.
Exactly. So I'm also not a morning person, and I was like, that's just not going to work. I'm down to rough it out, but not with my living situation.
Yeah.
So then we truck my stuff down the stairs all the way back across town to Katie's, and the room, I'm like, okay, at least I get to close the door on myself. It was like, I want to say if I spread out, like I could touch the walls with like the width, but no, I'm telling you, it was tiny. It was like a little shoebox.
But you had a door.
I had a door and I had a window. So, natural lighting. And oh man, yeah, a twin size bed. Like in the end, I made it homey because I had to.
Yeah, and at least you're with Katie.
Yes.
So like that makes a difference.
Yeah, that made me feel a lot more secure.
Yeah.
Like just having somebody I knew. And then we also had another roommate. She was Romanian, and so she was cool. Very clean in person.
Love that.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact is she played for the Romanian national team.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out, yes.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that for her.
So I'm just thinking like I'm seeing my shoebox room right now in my
Yeah.
head. So
Okay, so you're in your apartment with Katie and the Romanian roommates. Then, like, what happens? Like, it's the next day, like, you have training, like...
yeah.
Okay.
Next day, straight into training. I think I slept for like 14 hours because I was so jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's the time difference?
I want
Do you
to. I
remember?
want to say like 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 7 or 8. It just fluctuates depending on who's saving time and not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went to a training, which was very interesting. Oh yeah, this is where we get into it. Day one. Oh, okay. So it's me. There's like 4 other Americans on the team as well.
Okay.
There's a Romanian. There's someone from Serbia. Someone from Canada. I think the rest are pretty much natives, or the 2 Romanians. So pretty diverse team.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting in the locker room. Think like a horse shape, room.
Okay.
We're all sitting down next to our hooks that have our stuff on it. And we're just looking around, gazing around, like making eye contact. Most of the girls there also speak English, so you can.
That's nice.
Oh, there was Greek girls too. 2 Greek girls. I love them.
Oh my God. They had a lot of people from like other countries.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was going to mention that that's not very, it is common to have like diversity like that, but in 2021, they kind of lifted the rules of how many people you could bring in from out of country. Oh. So for this particular season, they were like, yeah, sure, free for all, bring whoever.
Oh.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
Okay, but now I'm imagining I'm in this locker room.
Yeah.
Coach walks in.
And he's like from the country, like he's a native, like from the country. Okay.
Full blown Hungarian.
Okay.
And I'm not name dropping. And walks in, big smile on his face, and we're like, okay, he's happy, cool, first day vibes.
Yeah.
Looks around and he's like, girls, I'm so happy. And we're like, all right, why?
Cool.
Tell us. Because I bring very beautiful women to the team.
Wait.
My heart is like racing as I'm retelling this story.
Wait. He said that out loud?
Oh, there was many more things he said out loud
What?
in that genre. Yeah. He was like, yeah, my colleagues are so happy to see that I bring in beautiful women with long hair to the team.
What?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, me and the other Americans looking around like, what the fuck?
Like, this is not normal. Did any of the other girls, like, besides the Americans, be like, guys, this is kind of creepy?
No, they were like laughing or like smiling or like, haha, yeah, they are pretty. And so that was just weird because I'm thinking, why are we talking about appearances? We're here, we're here to play soccer.
Yeah.
This is our job. And so
That's weird.
Super weird vibes. And then we're just like, okay, odd. But then he says, yeah, so, whatever, gets into the training. Like, it's cold outside. Oh, this is another thing is that he like mandated you wear leggings. And I want to say it was like 40 degrees outside. So yeah.
Like leggings with shorts over, right?
Yeah, with shorts.
Oh,
over.
okay. I was like, I'm like, just the leggings.
You must wear bodysuit.
Yes. After that, like long hair comment, I'd be like,
Okay, well, you know what? Is the other thing was uniforms. Uniforms were fit snugged, whether you liked it or not. So,
stop.
Yeah.
Red flags.
Exactly.
Oh my
there was a lot
God.
of that going on.
Because I wouldn't think like that would be going on over there. Well,
yeah, everything was so new to me. And I think me and the other foreigners were just trying to gauge what was common and not.
Yeah.
That was a big cultural barrier for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here it's no.
Here it's
one red flag, we're immediately no.
Yeah. We're like,
yeah.
Dad, something, this is a little fishy over here. Is this happening over here? And like, I had other friends playing in different countries. I'm like, by any chance, is this occurring over at your team?
Yeah. Are they saying this?
Yeah. So that was super weird. But he had like a rule. If it was 40 degrees or maybe like 45, I want to say it was 45 Fahrenheit and below, you had to wear leggings because he wanted us to stay warm and like protect our muscles. And I was like, okay, I can see that. But also when you're running around, you get super hot anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I personally didn't like that we had to follow that.
That's just weird.
Yeah, I thought it was odd.
Weird. Like, no, that's weird.
That was that. Oh, another thing is that pre-practice so he'd come in, they'd tell you, what we're doing for the day, what we're going to work on. And he would say, okay, in 30 minutes, meet me on the field. And for those 30 minutes, you had to warm up, but warm up in the locker room. So
Isn't that like a
yeah,
small
area.
Like, how do you warm up in the locker room?
So you use like those bands.
Okay.
What are they called? The ones that you like step
Oh,
into.
the ones around like your ankles.
Around
So
your ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah. People will like foam roll just like in the locker room. Like everyone just kind of
Okay.
did their own thing. Music was playing. You'd putting like icy hot on. You're getting a massage from the masseuse if she's there.
Okay. The masseuse was a woman.
Yes.
I mean, after all these comments, I don't know.
Oh,
Gonna
God.
make sure.
Yeah. That was a whole other thing too, is that we had, yeah, okay, fine. We had like mandated massages after games. Like if you played a certain amount of minutes, you had to go be seen by the masseuse. Loved her. She definitely always got really those hands were digging into you, and I was like,
She said my rent is due. Let me
no,
relieve.
seriously. But here's the thing: is in this locker room that we're envisioning, right? Horse shape. There's a table in the middle of the room.
Okay.
Like a massage table. So everybody takes turns just like going in the middle and getting massaged, and you're in like spandex and a bra, or just spandex, or just underwear.
Oh.
In the middle of this
in the
room.
middle of the locker room.
Which is really, I don't know.
Odd.
Yeah, it's odd for us. So
yeah, because we'd be like, because for us it'd be in a separate room.
Exactly.
Or like there's not people around you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, here is like pretty open, which I'm like personally okay. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
If you know, if I'm in my locker room and everything. But something cute that our coach used to do was knock on the door, not wait for a response, and just barge in. So if the music's playing, he'd be like, you know, are we ready? He'd be like, knock, knock, open doors, and you're just like, what the, like trying to cover up. Yeah, that happened way too often.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And he'd be like, oh, I just need to say that wear your red shorts today. And we're like, okay, thank you. Get out. And yeah, actually one time this happened, another rule we had was no phones. You couldn't use your phone in the locker room, which I understand. But for some of us, like pre-performance routine, like you want to listen to your songs.
Yeah.
You want to maybe like get that last good luck text, like get your advice from whoever you're texting or something. Yeah, so that was a barrier for us because we had to put them in a box. Like the captain would go around and be like, "Okay, phones." Yeah, and we're like, "We're adults here. This is."
No, but really though, like I would get like if it's 5 minutes before game time, okay, but 30 minutes, like you all have different playlists to get pumped and hyped.
Yeah, just things like that. So I didn't like that, and we did put it in. But I brought it up because one time I was on my phone, and he barged in as he does, and I'm like mad at him for coming in when people are changing, and he's mad at me for being on my phone, and he's like, Higgins. And by the way, we were never called by a first name. That was another thing, is that it was always last name. So he's like, Higgins, you have fine of like 100 Hungarian forint. And I'm like, okay, this is like $2. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, okay, let me tell my dad good night.
Yeah. Wait,
I'm
like, in another country.
Yeah, also like, get out.
I'm like, I'm going to fine you for walking in on us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, so y'all had fines?
We had fines, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I racked up a tab over there. I was,
I'm dead.
yeah, we had fines for, for being late. Yeah, if you were late, if you were on your phone, what else would you get a fine for? What did I do?
Not getting a massage after the game.
Probably. No, I always did that because it was worth it, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
She got you right. Yeah, like, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if we got fined for this. This is so silly, but notable as for not showering after practice. This was like, so there's a shower, a communal one, and I know.
I hate communal showers.
Exactly. And so we kind of viewed it as it being optional, or we can rinse off, sure. But the thing is, we're going straight to our apartments after.
I would shower at my apartment with all my stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the way it worked, like you came in dressed in your normal clothes.
Okay.
The laundry was done for you. It was like in a bin. We would like sort through it and like throw it to each other. Like, this is your number. Here's your stuff, whatever. And then by the end of training, you'd throw them back in the bin, change in your normal clothes. So, but if you want, you'd like rinse off.
Yeah.
Then change normal clothes and go. And what happened one time after training is our coach was like, hey, I wanted to talk to y'all about something. We're like, all right. Okay. And mind you, this is okay. Katie had acrylic nails on, and one time she was missing like one or two. And he goes, "We're gonna talk about hygiene." And I was like, "Let's fucking hear it. Like, what do you have to say about hygiene?
About women's hygiene?"
I know. And then he goes, "Also, I noticed, Katie, you know, your nails, they're not done. Like, men here don't like that." Whenever.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he goes, "Men here don't like to see the nails not done." And I'm thinking, like, you paying for the
I know. It's
the
like,
set?
are you gonna get me a set?
Exactly.
What?
We were like, what? Also,
So everything seems like focus on the men there. Like that's weird. Okay, so sorry. Back to the hygiene. He was like, we're gonna talk about hygiene.
no, I know, but
That's weird.
I was triggered. I was like,
That's weird.
why does it matter what my nails look like when I'm playing soccer? As long as we're performing.
Who's looking at my nails when I'm playing soccer?
Apparently men. So,
oh god.
And in that little talk he was giving, he said, so it was like brought to
Wait,
my...
what did Katie say to him?
I don't know. Katie was like, I think she made a joke, was like, "You're going to pay for them?" Because, or she like just pulled them off. Like, Katie's thing is that she always has acrylics and she uses jersey grabber, so they pop off.
Oh, yeah. Relatable. Same. I've missed one or two.
I can't do, I do nubs during season because I don't want dirt under it, like breaks.
In college, I had acrylics I would scratch. Yeah. On accident. It would happen.
By accident.
Yeah.
My daddy
So
said.
I'm Katie. I feel it. Okay, so
He's briefing us.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, so it's brought to my attention that not everybody's showering after practice. And I'm like, first of all,
how does he know that?
okay. I was like, huh. I'm like, are there cameras in here or who's snitching, right? Who's telling the coach that we're not showering? Also, I'm pretty sure we're all showering, but we're just not like washing our hair. We're not like putting makeup on. I don't know. And he goes, and you need to wash your hair. I was like, what? I go, okay, look, we were all looking around like, be for real, huh? I go, well, what? Some of us want to shower at our apartment. And he was like, nope, this is not normal. And I was like, yeah, it is normal. And he like, I'm talking back, so I'm already in trouble for that.
He's like, fine.
No, seriously.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think I really took him for a surprise because...
There had to be cameras in there because how does he know? Like...
I think someone might have been telling them. Or, number one, he noticed that our hair wasn't wet, which indicated like we weren't showering or something. But we were showering, just body shower. Because it was freezing. We don't want to walk home and our hair is like freaking frosty. Also, we just want to shower at home in the comfort of our own shower.
That's just a weird comment. Okay.
Yeah, so he had a whole talk about that, just to tell us, like, make sure you're showering because it's not nice that my colleagues see you walking around, like, unbathed and, like, with one nail. And I'm like, what do you think that we're
Not
just,
the
like...
nails again.
And I'm like, okay, what? So he did not like it. I talked back. I was like, look, I've played in a couple other countries and you don't have to shower. Like it's optional. Why would it? And he goes, nope, this is everywhere they do this. And I go, no, everywhere they do not do this. And he's like, yes, everywhere. And I said, no, I was straight up was like, nope.
No.
So that was that. I had a little confrontation with him. He already was like, I don't like her. But I think we showered because we didn't want to get in trouble. We ended up washing our hair. I think we just like would run water over it and just not put any shampoo and conditioner.
Because you don't have your stuff with you.
Yeah, or you could bring it, but it was one of those showers you have to keep pushing it to get the water to go. Exactly.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that was another barrier. Like, okay, annoying.
So did you have like any language barriers? But you said like a lot of them spoke English, so.
Yes, and so practices were conducted in English because I think because the Greeks obviously they spoke a little bit of English, and then we had Greek, Romanian, Serbian. Although they're pretty like close countries, I don't think they fully understood the language. But yeah, practices were conducted in English. Our coach spoke to us in English, and then he would speak to some of the other players in Hungarian. But
oh my god, I'd be like, "Are you talking about me to them?"
I know. Right? Well, for sure they were. Yeah. It was, the thing is, like, other languages, sometimes you can tell if they're saying, like, a name or, like, the word ball, but I'm telling you, nothing here translated directly at all. Yeah. Like, I think the closest thing was coffee. It was kave. And like to say hi was Sia, like Szia, like Sia.
Oh.
And then that was also to say bye. And if you were saying hello, like, and there was more than one person in the room, you'd say Sia stuck.
Okay, so you learned.
Yes, you walk in, you'd be like, Sia stuck. And it was super rude if you didn't say that. Like you had to, yeah.
That's interesting.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you know, kind of etiquette. I guess you'd walk in the locker room, you'd say hi, and you'd do a little like high five around the room before you sat down. Little greetings.
I like that. Okay, so there are some good parts.
Yes.
Like there's good and bad parts to it.
Yes. No, definitely. But another language barrier I'm thinking of is on the field when our coach would give us instructions. There was one, poor thing. It was when he would say like 1, 2, or 3. 3, the word 3 for him sounded like free. So think about we're doing like one touch, right? He's like, okay, this is one touch, this is 2 touch, and this is free touch. He meant take as many touches.
Yeah.
And we were like 3, and it happened it happened far too long. Like nobody adjusted to this. We were like, is he saying 3 or free? And then we're all like taking too many touches or too little. He's like, I said free. And also there's a lot of yelling going on, so we're like, we're stressed out. Yeah. How many touches is it? I don't know.
I'm dead. Oh,
that was a big one.
Yeah.
The language. I'm trying to think another language barrier.
So how many days? So when you get there and you had your first training, how many days was there until like your first game?
Ooh, I can't really remember.
Oh, well, and what position did you play when you were there?
Amazing question. So I am naturally like a center mid or a winger, so a forward. And he's like, okay, you're going to play right back. Wait. That's fine. I'm versatile. I can play wherever you'd like me to play also. Sure.
But they knew what position you were before coming.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Correct. But they just kind of scrambled people together and was like, we're going to put them wherever.
Yeah.
And so I'm testing out, I guess, trying for right back. It was fine. But what happened was I didn't even end up playing right back because somebody else was better at it. Thank God. But honestly, I played right wing in the end. Yeah. So, but that whole process of me being like, am I a right back? Am I a left back? I'm center mid. Where am I going? I don't know. Bench. I had a lot of that in my season there.
I'm right bench.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. That was something I struggled with a lot there is month 1, I was benched.
And you're not used to that.
I'm not used to that. I'm not normally a bench player, or if I am, like, I'm injured or like there's somebody better than me at that position. But at the time I felt like we had a lot of young people on the team. I felt like I was more experienced and I had proven myself to be, I felt that way to be able to start and play there. But it wasn't even that I wasn't starting. It was like I wasn't getting game time and there weren't that many subs.
Oh.
So for the first few weeks, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Because even when we did the practice sessions, it was like, okay, I'm part of the lineup. Like, yeah, you feel that. And you know that, like, okay, I'm solid. And then next day starting lineup, it's like, not you. So I was super confused.
Did you ask him about it at any point?
I did. I was like, hey, can I take notes? Like, is there anything I need to work on?
Yeah.
Anything, feedback. And he just little hands behind his back, like, nope, you're doing great. I'm like,
okay, then why am I not playing?
And here's what it was. I was talking mad shit about
not him being sassy and not playing you.
Well, the thing is, I was talking mad shit, but like in the comfort of my own apartment.
Oh,
right.
So it's okay.
So right,
yeah.
First question is who's ratting me out?
It's not Katie.
No, but also it wasn't anyone else. What happened is basically we were under the impression that our apartment was tapped so tapped or had videos or had microphones or something because we would have conversations in our apartment and verbatim they were repeated back to us when we got to the locker room.
Stop.
Yeah, this was a moment for me. Again, my heart is racing because it freaked me out once, one too many times. It's just not a coincidence.
Yeah, like once, twice, 3 times, no.
Yeah, like one time, Katie scored her first professional goal, like I think in our first game, and our coach like didn't really congratulate her about it. I mean, you don't have to, but he wasn't like, congrats on your first goal ever, blah, blah, blah.
But it's a normal thing to do, though.
Yeah, exactly. And so me and Katie were discussing this in our apartment. There was nobody else there. We were talking about it. And it was before we were going to training. And we were saying, no, it's kind of weird. He didn't even really say anything about it. When I tell you, the first thing he said when we got to the locker room that day, like he walked in, looks around, he goes, oh, before I start, Katie.
Stop.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. Yes, he did. He looks at me, looked at Katie, and goes, Katie, congrats on your goal. I forgot to tell you.
Stop.
And Katie's head was like, turned to me, and I was like, that's big coincidence?
No.
Weird, right? And that didn't sit well with me. I was like,
no. I'd be ripping apart the apartment looking for cameras or like, what?
Yeah, because I was thinking, did we have that conversation like in public? Was it on the train?
Yeah, did anyone overhear us?
No, it was...
Wait, did other girls have like that issue too? They thought, or was it just y'all?
No, other girls had this issue too. Yeah, so there was 2 other Americans. One was from New York, one was from New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was hanging out with them in a different apartment. Also, it was just us 3 just hanging out, chatting. And I can't remember what we were talking about at the time. But, I know what it was. It was people kept asking for the first month or so, like, do you like it here? Just straight up being like, hey, instead of like, how are you? It's, do you like it here? And personally, I was like, I'm not really a huge fan right now, but it's okay. And I'm not going to tell you no because you're going to tell the coach. Yeah. So we were in the comfort, again, of the apartment, 3 Americans. And we were saying, everyone keeps asking us, do we like it here? Isn't that so weird? No, we don't like it here. But no, we're not going to say that. Yeah. Because it was just super dictatory, super all focused around men and stuff. We weren't really comfortable. Yeah. And 10 minutes later, one of my friend's roommates came in. She's from the country. Yeah, I know. Stop. First thing, just like talking, how are you guys? Blah, blah, blah. So do you like it here? And stop. Yes, I know. We all looked at each other.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm over this. Like, this. And so I kept it to myself. We reeled it back in. We were like, okay, you can't trust. I don't know. Maybe you can't trust anyone. Or you can't trust where you are. Keep the thoughts in your head.
Like, okay, so the fact that, so if there was cameras or anyone could hear stuff from the apartment, they would have had to have texted that girl to come into the apartment to tell y'all.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't know. I watch a lot of crime.
I don't, but oh my God.
I don't know, because how else that's too close of a coincidence.
Exactly. So, but that freaked me out because my first thought was cameras. So when I got back home to Katie in our apartment, I think I had like I panicked. Because this was around the time where I wasn't starting many games. Yeah. I was like pretty upset. I didn't like the way, that we were being told to do X, Y, and Z. It just, he was making inappropriate comments. Oh God. Yeah. There's more to it. But one night I was like, this is crazy. I don't feel comfortable. I was talking to my therapist about this and and by the way, at the time my therapist was in Romania. She traveled a lot. So I told her my concerns and she basically said, that might not be, you're not crazy. It is a possibility. Okay. So I would just make sure you're always like using a VPN, make sure your phone is locked, change your passwords. And I was like, dude, oh my God. So I'm being validated in the fact that this could be a tapped apartment. Like it's technically.
It could be. I mean, y'all are American.
Yeah. And it's the coach's like property or it's the club's property. So they're like entitled to do whatever, but also ethically what?
That's weird.
Yeah. No. So that night after I got off the phone, I'm not like a super anxious person. I started panicking. I was like, okay, I'm freaking out in my shoebox. I'm sitting there on the floor.
But is the door closed or open?
Door's closed. Door's closed.
At least you had a door to close. Could you imagine if you're in the other apartment?
Oh my God. My poor other roommate would have been like, this girl's not okay. Still, my roommate, like who I shared with, I was in between both of them. She's probably like, this girl crying all the time. And I was like sitting on the floor and I needed like just to let it out or tell somebody because I'm like, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Box. I felt paranoid. Yeah. And then I got validated with my concerns. Yeah. I just knocked on, I was like, Katie, I opened the door. She was on the phone like, hey, sorry, I need to go. Crisis. Hangs up. Sit on the floor. She's like, what's wrong? you know, also Katie's like a paranoid person and I'm not. So for me to freak out.
Katie, I'm very paranoid too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me to freak out, she was like, okay, I'm freaking out too now. And I go, look, I just need to cry this out. But I was like hyperventilating. And I go, dude, Katie, I don't want to freak you out.
She's like, oh my God.
What? And I'm like, well, can we like stand on the chairs and like look above and look? Because the walls, I don't even know. They had like a ledge to where things could sit up. So say you could like put a little plant. It was kind of like that.
Okay.
All around. So I was like, let's, you know, boost me up. I'm going to look up and just see if there's cameras. Let's do a sweep.
Yeah.
And you know what? There were like wires.
Wait, stop.
Come to think of it, there were some wires and I'm just like, well, it's probably for the TV that we didn't have. It's probably for the alarm system that I've never heard before. So I'm crying. I calm down. I tell her, look, I'm kind of paranoid because things that we're saying in confidentiality, things that I'm like talking to my dad on the phone about, things that I'm texting are coming up in conversation and that's not normal.
No.
Like, I don't feel good. Like my intuition was going crazy. Like I was like, Siobhan, something's wrong.
I would be on 10.
Yes. So I had my freak out. And for me, this was, I want to say week 3 or 4. So
stop. Only week 3.
Exactly. Week 3 or 4, I think. I have to like go back and check. But at this point, I'm like, I want to go home. And my dad, he didn't raise a quitter. He goes, nope, you're Higgins. You're staying. You're going to tough it out. And I'm like,
but my apartment is bugged.
My apartment's bugged. I'm not even playing. The coach is mean. I have to shower after practice. This place sucks.
Katie can't have one missing acrylic.
Yeah. We can't get our nails done. By the way, a pro is we end up finding a nail tech. Loved her. By the way, getting your nails done was like $10 US. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. So we end up getting done all the time.
That's why the coach was like, Katie, you should have all nails. There's no excuses.
Nails at all times. Yeah.
He's like, I know it's cheap for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I had my freak out, but this was like a pivotal moment in my personal story because I was the first one to freak out. After me, and after I did have a freak out and realized, okay, this is normal, so don't freak out about if things are brought up again because that's expected, right?
Okay.
So don't freak out anymore. Other people, it happened later. They were like, why is this happening to me? Why is this going on?
Stop. Was it like other girls from the other countries or just the Americans that it was happening with?
Just Americans.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that we felt the most comfortable like confiding in each other because we have similar norms and similar experiences. So
did you feel like the girls that were like from like Hungary, that they were like y'all's friends, or you couldn't really be friends with them, or is like weird to hang out with them? Did you feel like if you would tell them stuff, they're going to go and tell the coach?
Yeah. Full transparency. At first, we were kind of making friends with some of them. Yeah. But in the end, with the whole like lack of trust thing due to not knowing who's listening or who's telling what, we kept really quiet. And it was kind of like a trust nobody thing. Yeah. Except the Americans, which
is like weird to think about because it's like you want to be able to make friends with other girls from all these other countries and like be able to share this experience with them. Yeah.
And I mean, at times like they did help, but I just knew to like, I'm not going to tell you really anything, or just keep it professional, go to work. Soccer's work. So go to work, do your job, be nice, do what's expected and leave.
Did you feel like people, like the people that lived there, like in the coffee shops, the nail shops, like were they welcoming, or did you feel kind of on edge with them?
Ooh, really good question. No, everyone was really really nice. Me and Katie, so Katie's like a caffeine addict. I'm personally, well, I guess I became one, but I love coffee. And we went to a coffee shop pretty much every single day, and that place was really cute. The people were so nice. They knew our order, so like we became like locals.
I love that. That's cute. Yeah.
With both the coffee shops are like right across the street from each other. The nail place lady was super nice and funny, but okay, I have to tell y'all about my my waxing experience.
Wait, tell us.
I'm gonna make it appropriate to
make
listen
it like
to.
like a PG.
Yes. Okay. All right. So me and one of my other teammates from California, we're gonna go get waxed in the bikini area. Yeah. And because it was like $10 also. Everything's just like super cheap over there. Yeah, the currency is just, it's good for us Americans. So I've done it before and I'm like, yeah, it hurts, but whatever. And then my other roommate, or not roommate, teammate was like, I've never done it before. I'm nervous.
Same.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine. Yeah. And then I was like, Katie, you're coming with me because, you know, girl code, always go with somebody. But it was at the place where we got our nails done. So we were comfortable with that. The recommendation was through a teammate. And you were like messaging somebody on Facebook, like in Google Translate, saying like, oh, I'm coming over here to do this, bringing 3 Americans, whatever.
Okay.
So me and Katie walk into town and we're waiting at the little tram stop for our other teammate because she lives like 10 minutes away. And while we're waiting here, there's so much going on. So there's all of a sudden like a little boy starts running towards us. And over there are, I think this is like incorrect to say, but there's like gypsies over there, or like, I don't know. At the time, I didn't really know what that was.
Yeah.
But just think kind of like homeless people. But they're not homeless, and I don't really know how to describe that. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you. Yeah.
Just
that's. I think that's prominent like over in Europe. Like there's.
Yeah. That's a word that I learned from the people there, and that's what they refer to as like people wandering around or whatever. So this little boy's a little gypsy. He's like running towards us. Me and Katie are like, what? He's making a beeline for us. There's a lot of people, so between the tram stops, people are getting on and off, and we just separate because he's gonna like charge through us, and then he runs onto the train. We never see him again. We're like, wait, that was weird. We like, look at each other, start laughing, and then we draw our attention to somebody who's throwing up. So someone gets off this tram, is throwing up, and we're like, okay, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, our teammate comes up to us, and she's like, hey guys, okay, wow, I'm so nervous. I just took 2 tequila shots. And we're like, what just happened? So many things happen in like 20 seconds. And we're like, why did you take...
Why is she nervous?
I don't know if she was nervous for the pain. Probably. And I was like, it's really not that bad. You play soccer, you get kicked for a living. You kick people. But that was just hilarious. So she's like, I took 2 tequila shots. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just raw dogging this. Like, we're just going straight in.
Yeah.
And so we walk to our little store, come in, meet the lady who's a different nail tech. It's just the same building or store. We go in, and she locks the door. And I'm like, oh, this is creepy. And we all look at each other like, okay, we have each other. I'm glad we came.
Yeah, together.
Locks the door and like draws a little curtain. And I'm like, okay, fine, because there's
privacy.
A street view.
Yeah,
privacy.
yeah.
And then she's like, who's first? And this English is not very good. So I'm like, me, it is I. I
the
was
chosen
texting
one.
You. Yeah, I'll like, sure. And so I go, and it's, by the way, like, it's, again, one room. Like, there's no doors anywhere. It's just, like, an open floor plan. But you know in the hospitals when they have those curtains that you draw around a bed? It was like that. So there's a little bed.
So there's... Okay, wait. Okay, so you're behind the curtain. Katie and everyone else is on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Katie and Sabs. Sorry, Sabs is her name from California. Okay. They're on the other side, like, sitting in chairs. And then it's just me and the waxing girl, who's, like, my age. So I feel comfortable, too. And she's like, okay, well... take your clothes up. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
we're getting right into it. Yeah.
I like sit on this little chair, and it's it wasn't sugar wax or whatever, normal wax. And I'm like, okay. She gets going, and of course it hurts. But Katie's like recording. She's like, are you okay back there? And I'm like, yep, it's fine. And it's just, you hear just like a, and I'm just like, oh. And I'm like cussing in English, and the lady, she's like, pain? I go, yeah, little.
And not the poor girl that took 2 shots hearing you in pain.
I mean, yeah, there are definitely some parts that hurt more than the other, but I'm just sitting there like, okay, fine, like, get it over with. And I was just like profusely sweating, and I'm not a sweater, but you have those little like, again, like the doctor, that little clear or that paper that you sit on. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like drenching through this. It's like, I'm like, okay, let's get this over with. But yeah, on the other side, Sabs also is like, I've never done it before. Like, can I come over and watch? And at this point, I'm like, sure, but don't come in through. And then boom, her head pops in like straight angle. I'm like, okay, from there. But whatever, we're just gonna get real up close and personal. So she comes around. She's like, oh, so it's like a butterfly pose, because you do certain poses. Yeah. Whatever. She comes in. I'm done. And then it's her turn. Katie's, meanwhile, like, has a Snapchat video of, like, herself selfieing. And then just, like, me being like, oh, fuck, shit, like, in the back. That was our waxing experience. And I just, it was good. We kept going to the same lady. I mean, again, super cheap.
It was probably quick.
I would recommend it. Yes, quick.
She was not talking to you.
No, she was not talking. There was no conversation. Exactly. So that part was hilarious. Oh.
Okay, so you said there is the girl from California, and then the other two Americans, New Jersey, New York.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just to get the roster going, it
Yeah.
was actually me and Katie were from Texas. There was another girl also from Texas who was already there and had played in Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So did she like tell y'all anything about her experience playing with the other team in Hungary? Like his comments that the coach is saying they didn't say at this other team. Like, does she kind of compare with y'all and like let you know?
Yeah. So just to clarify, she had already played on this team.
Okay.
This was her second season, and she told us everything that happened, after we got there. So she was like, "Oh yeah, one time, we had to do this, and this," and we were just like, so the things that we were complaining about, she was like, "Yeah, that's normal," or like, "Yeah, it was worse." But the reason
Worse?
the reason that people stay in a situation like this is because, one, you're already in Europe, so you
Yeah.
already made the trek to go over there. If you have a job and stuff, you already quit that. You already
Yeah.
stopped working. Also, it's a resume builder.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, like, these things that happened should not really be happening. These are unethical. These are unprofessional, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and I think opinion of many others.
But I'm also thinking like the girls that are from that country playing, they don't know any different, so they think this is normal when it's not.
Yeah. That was my biggest concern because
Yeah.
I'm like an outspoken person, and I recognize that other people like don't feel comfortable speaking up or like can't stand up for themselves. But for me, I'm like, I've said too much before, and
Yeah.
I had to reel it back in. But like when I feel like something is unjust or not right, like I'm going to speak up.
Yeah.
Even so, that's why I feel like my coach saw me as like the defiant or like a deviant, because I was talking back, but really I was just speaking up for myself and for others.
Yeah.
Because this was just not normal.
No.
But like to your point, yeah, I felt bad because I recognized after for some time that was just their normal, and they're used to that, and that to them was just normal. So like there was one time where I went on strike. I went on strike to prove a point,
Like
because
from like practice, like I'm not practicing, I'm not getting my nails done. I'm not washing my hair at the facility.
okay. No, I didn't self-sabotage in that
Oh,
sense.
okay.
I still was getting my nails done. I was still
$10.
looking clean. No, I didn't go to practice because we had an away game.
Okay.
And again, so for more context, this team, it was like newly put together, like because we were trying to salvage the whatever position we were in.
What were like the age ranges?
Between 30 and 17.
Oh, okay.
30 and 16. We also like occasionally had some youth players play up for extra numbers.
Okay.
It was like a really small roster. I want to say we had like 17 people.
Oh wow.
So small.
Okay. Yeah.
But what was I saying?
Your strike.
Yeah, what happened was, we had an away game. I think we tied a game like 0-0 or 1-1. And I started and played the first half, and then he switched us out, and he was pissed that we tied. Like, that was not acceptable. We had to win this game. And so drive back home for an hour is really awkward. Everyone's silent, of course.
Yeah.
Doing their own thing. And then another like common thing that we would do is get back, sit in the locker room, debrief the game, then get to go home. So what happened was the coach is, walking around. Like, again, imagine horseshoe locker room.
Hands behind his back.
Hands behind his back. You got it. He's pacing. He goes, so the new players just aren't trying.
Be like, me?
We're like, no, fuck out of here. Like, what do you mean we're not trying? We are in another country. We're trying the most. Like, this is our job.
You kind of had the most to prove. Yeah.
Especially me. Like, I wasn't getting through the time. I'm like, I'm on the field. Woohoo. My 25 minutes. Let me go ball out real quick. And yeah, he's just like, yeah, new players aren't trying. That's why we're not winning. Blah, blah, blah. New players this, new players that. So, and he's looking down. So he goes, so Siobhan. No, sorry, didn't say my name. He goes, so Higgins, you have ball duty for the week. And I'm like, what? First of all, we have a ball person. We have somebody who is hired to clean the balls, like with a brush, wash them because it gets all like icky, and then carry the balls, pump them and everything.
He gets paid.
Yes, so probably not. But someone, like, that's their job.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I feel like this is a punishment, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, first of all, why am I being punished? Why me? Well, also, what did I do? I'm like, this guy just doesn't like me.
No.
And
You're like, I barely played. Like,
exactly. And I honestly, I think feel like I had a good game.
Yeah.
Like, I get some potential assists. But yeah, so I look at him and I go, why? And again, that's like, you don't ask
oh, yeah.
questions.
No. He's like,
He's like, what? I go, yeah, why me? And he goes, because I said so. And I said,
oh.
And I was like, well, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, still like taking, and everyone's looking at me like, huh? I said,
No.
yeah. He goes, I'm sorry, what? I said, yeah, I'm not doing that. And he goes, yes, you are. And I said, no, I'm not. And I'm just sitting there. I'm pissed at this point. I'm like, let me just go home. This is annoying and stupid. I'm not taking your fucking balls. No. He goes, yeah, you are. Okay, everyone, cool. See you next training tomorrow. And that's like the end of it.
I could just picture him going home, and then like if y'all's apartment was bugged, like him just clicking on it, trying to listen and see what you're saying.
Man, at this point, I was speaking up into the microphone. I was like, I am not taking
you
any
hear
balls.
me.
Fuck that. No. And so what happened the next day we come to training. Also, this is a fun little what's it called? Not routine, but this is something that they do in Hungary. Is that if it's your birthday, you bring a cake for yourself and to share with others. I think it's kind of weird, but also cool.
Wait.
So if it was your birthday,
you would bring a cake.
You'd bring a cake. And we'd all like sing to you. And then we
cut it and we share.
Yeah, we'd cut it and we share.
I guess in school we would bring our own cakes.
Yeah. So similar to that, but it was cute.
That's cute.
But
at least you get the cake you like.
Yeah, exactly. And so next day comes, it's one of my teammates' birthdays, the American. And I'm like, oh man, sorry for the tension I'm about to bring to practice today, but I'm not taking those balls. He's got me messed up. Wait,
did she bring her own cake?
Of course she did. Which, by the way, very cheap and very good. Like, the bakery there was amazing. Yeah. Pastries were good.
Okay, I'm a pastry girl.
I'll have to show you pictures. Like, they were,
Please.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the coffee place had really cute, like, intricate designs.
Aww.
It was so nice. Yeah, I'll have to show y'all. But we show up. Claire shows up like with her little like it's my birthday, and she's like also like I don't want to be here on my birthday, but here we are. I'm like the best we can do is have a fun practice and eat cake.
You're like actually.
Yeah. So we're putting on our stuff. The coach comes in, says hi, gives us whatever we're gonna do for the day, and I'm like cool. He forgot, and then he goes, oh yeah, and Higgins. And I'm like, here we go. Katie's looking at me because she's like non-confrontational. She's like, are you going to say something? Of course I'm going to say something. I'm like, yeah. He goes, don't forget the balls. And I said, oh, I haven't forgotten them. I'm not getting them. And then I like look back down and like pull up my shin guards.
I could just picture him being like,
Mans was unhappy. And the other Hungarians are like popcorn. Like, you're joking.
They're eating the cake.
They're eating the cake. No, that's not till after practice. Yeah, so then he's like, no, you're going to, or you don't practice. I was like, looks like I'm not practicing. And he goes, okay, see you outside. Closes the door and leaves. And I'm looking around like,
I'd be like, I didn't stutter.
No, seriously. I was like, I didn't stutter. But low key, like my heart is racing right now because I was getting kind of nervous. Like, unfortunately, he did make me nervous. Like his intimidation was kind of working on me, but I was not going to let that known. So I'm like, nope. I'm not getting the balls. There's a ball person. I'm not doing that. Yeah. This is cruel and unusual punishment. I didn't do anything. And so we're all leaving the locker room, and the balls are there. And our captain was like, you're going to get the balls? I was like, no. She was like, well, okay. And somebody else tried to get them, and she was like, no, you don't take the balls. She has to take them. And I'm thinking,
hold on, wait.
Okay, Miss Thing.
This is the rat. This is the informant. Oh my god.
Yeah, which is a whole nother thing that I will explain in the next episode as well. But I go into the hallway and I'm like, hey, coach, I'm not taking the balls. And he goes, Higgins, yes, you are. And I said, listen, I'm not. I feel like it's cruel and unusual and I'm not going to do it.
And he didn't give a reason, did he?
No, he didn't give a reason. And like, debate this.
And it's like, taking the balls is like a small thing, but it's like behind it, there's like it's the premise of it.
Exactly. And like, I had already like caused such a fuss about it. I wasn't gonna be like, fine, I'll take them.
Yeah, no, at this point, you have to stand on business now.
I gotta dig. Exactly. And
you're too far in.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm not. He goes, okay, then you don't practice. I okay, I'm going home then. And he goes, okay, then you're gonna get fined. I go, add it to the tab, like because whatever. So I go back into the locker room. I change into my regular clothes and I leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not training, I guess. It has to prove a point. And I'm telling my dad, and I'm telling my agent, I'm like, hey, by the way, if I get in trouble, it's because I'm not doing this. But I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It's just like, I think it was just a weird scenario. Like, it was weird.
It was weird. And it just, and he was bullying me, you know?
Yeah.
And there was like other things that happened as well, but I wasn't going to do it. And I felt like I had to prove or show the younger girls and the natives that like, this isn't normal. And yeah, you can stand up and I guess see what happens, see what my consequences are.
Yeah.
So this happens for like 3 or 4 days. I don't go to practice, or I go, I try the next day. And same thing. I'm like, he goes, don't forget the balls. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting the balls. Like, you get them. I didn't say that. But I'm like, I'm not getting them. He goes, okay, you don't practice. Like, all right, going back home. But I showed face.
Yeah.
And I told my agent, I was like, hey, I did it again. He wants me to take the balls. I'm just not going to get them, whatever. And he was like, and I said, also, you know, at this point, I'm actually, let's reevaluate. I'm unhappy. I feel like I'm paranoid. I'm not getting game time. And then he's targeting me. Like, I think I want to go home because the whole point is to build my resume, get some games under my belt, get some film. I'm not getting that. At this point, there's nothing here serving me other than experience.
Yeah. And cheap nails.
Cheap nails. Yeah, okay, you're right. And cheap nails, cheap coffee. So I'm starting to make arrangements to go home.
Yeah.
I think this is month 1. Right? Or it's into month 2. I don't know.
Oh my God. It's only been like 4 weeks.
It's a fever dream. So I kind of forget.
Oh my God.
It's probably longer. I'll have to fact check that later. But I start making arrangements to go home. I've talked to my dad and I've been like, look, I've really tried my best here. I've done all I could do. I'm really not well. I'm not happy at all.
Yeah.
This isn't me, and I need to like regroup and be in a better environment because this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I'm also not gonna be the fucking ball girl. So I tell the agent, like, communicates with my coach and is like, okay, yep, she's gonna go home. She wants to terminate her contract. She's gonna buy a flight. Blah blah blah. Tell me why. I get a phone call. By the way, I'm just like dancing in the kitchen because I'm on strike. My teammates are at practice, and I've been like going for runs on my own to stay in shape and like do stuff what I can. But I'm in the kitchen, and then my agent calls me and he's like, you're not going to believe this, but okay, also it wasn't my agent. It was like a random person who lived in Hungary that was like friends with the agent that could talk at a certain time zone, whatever.
Okay.
So it's a random person. She's like, hey, you're not going to believe this, but he wants you to stay. I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean he wants me to stay?
Why does he want me to stay? He's not even playing me.
Yeah.
He goes, well, there's been a lot of injuries. So, right, I mentioned we had like 17 people on the team, only 11 play. That leaves you with like 6 subs, 3 who are probably not going to play because they're the younger ones.
Yeah. And
then people are getting injured. So at this point, he needs me now. He needs
You're
me
like,
to play.
oh, how the turntables have turned.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what if I don't want to stay?
Yeah.
I'm like, talk money.
You're like, I'm
talk
already
money
on strike.
let's negotiate. Negotiation time. No balls. I'll stay if I get no ball duty. And I'm going to start every game. And I want to play because the whole point of me
is to play.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, yeah, let me call him back and tell him. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, cool. Tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, don't buy the flight yet. Like, hold
on. Save your points.
Yeah, because also with this contract, flights weren't part of the they didn't pay for our flights.
Oh.
Sometimes they do, but in this case, they didn't. It was like we got housing, we got 1 meal a day, and then you got paid. And again, it wasn't an extravagant amount of money, but like I mentioned, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I get the call back, and she's like, okay, yeah. He said he'll start you. You'll play every game, but he still wants you to get the balls. And I'm like, this guy's a fucking
adamant about
He's adamant.
balls?
Also, like, negotiating with the balls. I'm like,
oh my God.
and I said, let me think on it, and I'll get back to you at practice tomorrow. But fine, I won't buy my flight right now. And so I hang up, and I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, okay, I'm staying. And
but
like,
it's supposed to carry the balls.
Yeah, well, he mentioned the ball, and I'm thinking, I'm not fucking. At this time, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm a hardo. I stand on business and whatever. The next day comes, I tell Katie and all my other American teammates about it. And like, oh yay, Siobhan's staying, cool. I show up, and the coach comes in, has a little talk, and he's like, and Higgins, don't forget the balls. And I go, I won't. I'm like, I won't, because I'll do it finally. But
Stop.
I end up actually having a conversation, and I'll conclude this episode with this final note. But I wanted to kind of clear the air with him so that we were on better terms. Because if I'm going to stay, I think it was like 2 more full months. Like, that's kind of a long time given how slow all this was happening.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, can I talk to you in privacy? And she was like, sure. And think like we're in the bottom of a huge stadium, and there's like little locker rooms everywhere. So she's like, yeah, let's go in this one. So opens the door to locker room. I'm kind of like, where are we going? Is this an office?
Yeah.
Go in, and he closes the door and locks it.
Stop.
Closes the door and locks it.
I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of like stop in my tracks, like, whatever.
Like,
okay.
I'm already here.
I'm like, it's another intimidation technique. Fuck it. I'm not scared of you. And then there's like 2 chairs facing each other, like
Stop.
foldable.
It's like an interrogation room.
Yeah, that's how it felt. That's exactly what it was.
Oh my God.
And we sit down, and he goes, you take seats here. And I'm like, all right, I take seat here. I
I
sit
was
down.
like, are you going to say it? Or?
Yeah. And he sits down like with his hands in his lap. By the way, like me with my psych degree, I'm like, and communication minor, mirroring the body language, right? Like in interviews, like if they're like this, you want to kind of do the same thing. He sits down, kind of like man spreads, and does this. And so I'm like, okay.
I can do that too.
I'm like, what's up? and I said, well, first of all, I want to. Okay, so this is where I get a little more mature, I guess, or more professional, and when I handle it. And I said, I want to start off by apologizing if I've been disrespectful to you. That's not the way that I like to come off. I feel like I'm not being treated with respect, and so.
Which is true.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a weird dynamic because at this point you're a professional, you're both adults. Like, I'm being paid to play. Like, this is a work.
It's almost like, to me, it just felt like you're like, he was treating you like a U16.
Exactly.
But it's like, I'm a grown woman. Hold on.
Exactly. And so, I mean, and I think it was like, what, like 23 at the time? Like 22, 23?
Yeah.
So, again, it's just like, you know, I'm trying to establish boundaries here. So I tell him, I start off and I'm like, I apologize if I've been disrespectful. I understand that you're my coach and you're an authority figure. However, I feel as though I've been disrespected. And so I need to draw a line somewhere. Like, you know, telling me to do the balls, it felt like you were picking on me. And I just want to ask, like, why did you do that? And he goes, yeah, I was mad at you. And I was like, what the? What? You knew it. Well, of course. I'm like, for what?
Mr. Sassy?
Yeah, he was like, I felt like you weren't trying. And I go, dude,
What do you mean I wasn't? What?
I said, one thing you need to know about me is that I'm always, well, no, I'm not always going to try. There were some times I will say, like, in practice where I kind of quit during practice. Like, I normally I'm not that player. I'll push through. But straight up, I was like, fuck this. You know, like, he's putting me in with, like, youth players in the group.
That'd be like, that would just turn you off from like wanting to try.
Which is a whole nother thing that I would like to talk about. But yeah, I was not in a good mental space, even in practice, which normally I can just shut off and I focus in. But there I was like messing up and I was stopping, or like I'd lose the ball and I wasn't winning it back. Things like that. So I can't exactly say what I was trying to say. I was trying to say, like, first of all, you should know that I'm always trying, because okay, fine, I've shown him that I give up in practice, but I was like, in a game, I was genuinely trying. I'm working hard, and so just know that now you have my word. I'm going to give my 100% effort, as long and I will respect you as long as there's mutual respect and you're going to respect me. And I actually said that, and I was like,
And then what did he say?
And he goes, okay. But, you know, he basically said, yes, I agree. And I think that me kind of saying that gained respect from him. He was like, oh, okay, she's standing up for herself. I appreciate that, which I think is kind of fucked up. Like, why do I have to?
Yeah, like, why does it have to get to that point?
Exactly. But whatever, I gained respect from him. But he kind of tried to make the analogy where he was like, well, I have a boss and I listen to him. And then he is a boss and he listens to him. And so I'm your boss and you listen to me. And I was like, yes,
but no.
But with respect. You know,
like, you're still a human. And I also think it's very different in America compared to there. So I think that also, like, you have a different view on how it should be, and he had a different view on how it should be.
Exactly. So again, it's a cultural barrier.
Yeah.
And
I feel like being a female too, it's even worse.
Yeah. And again, like, unfortunately that happens a lot of different places. It's not just Europe. It's not, you know, even in America, it's not perfect. And so that's just something that I want people to know, like, beforehand. If I could do a few things differently, I would, one, probably do some more research in the country, in the team, in people who are there, ask them what their experiences were like, just so I can kind of gauge, because I actually didn't find this out until I got there, but there was another American that got there, really didn't like what was going on, and she was like, no, I'm leaving. This is fucked up. I'm gone.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, so backtrack when you're in the room. So what happened after the conversation?
Oh, well, look at me going on my tangent. So after that, no, we basically just had that mutual respect. We straight up shook hands. I was like, all right, deal. You play me. It was like pinpoints. I was like, you're playing me every game. I'm starting. You're going to treat me with respect. Sure, I'll take the balls for, like, I think it was a couple days.
Yeah.
And he was like, yep, all right, I'll do the same. And we shook hands. And after then, he, like, left me alone for the rest of the season.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
That was my turning point. And he just directed all his energy towards other people. Yeah. Which is something I'm going to get into with the next episode.
Yeah.
Because for me, I love relating this. You know the movie Mean Girls?
Oh, yeah.
When Gretchen Wieners cracks. That was me.
Stop, I'm dead.
Me crying to Katie and freaking out, and then me, like, about to buy my flight home. That was me cracking. I had enough. Like, that was my threshold.
Yeah.
I was pushed to my limits, and I cracked, and I was like, nope, going home. And then we had a little bit of a resolution, and I'm like, okay. And then it was basically steady, and I knew what to expect from him. I knew things that were abnormal for me became more normal. I was, I understood that. And so I was good. But moving forward, other people experienced some things, which I'm going to get. Yeah.
Okay, so then you started talking about what you would, like, have told maybe, like, a younger you, or, like, tell other people if they're thinking of going over there.
Yeah. What I would do moving forward is, okay, because I straight up answered that phone call in New York, and I think I got on a plane 3 days later. Yeah. Right? So give yourself some time to process, because something, like, from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, that's so cool. You're in another country. You just dropped everything and went. I wish I could do that. Yeah. Like, I couldn't tell you how many times people are like, I don't want to be working. I want to do what you're doing. And I'm like, you want to be crying on the floor every night?
Because I think, like, we all, like, again, social media, it's like we all saw, like, oh my God, you're having an amazing experience, like this and that, which, like, we had no idea, like, you were actually going through this unless you actually talked to you, like, on a daily basis. You had no idea.
Yeah. And this is something, like, it's something that bothered me, because I didn't want to portray that I was having a great time. And I actually, like, subliminally, how do I say that? Whatever. AI will fix it for me. I was sending messages through my captions. And, like, there's things that I was doing. It seemed like if you paid attention to me in social media during that time, you'd know that, like, I wasn't really happy. Yeah. But I was trying to make the best of it. Yeah. So, like, anything cute or fun that I did, I was like, I'm going to post this because this is a fun thing. Like, today we went out in town and got ice cream. Yeah. Awesome.
Or you got to travel.
I got to travel. Yeah, a little bit. So I'd really... After that turning point, I tried to make the best of everything. Like, truly, that's all you can really do when situations aren't that good. Yeah. But things that, like, the reason I got into that little tangent is because I'm impulsive, or I have been impulsive, and that's something that I've worked on. So someone called me and they were like, yeah, just go. I would advise you, do not, like, take some time, sit with your feelings, talk to a coach about it, talk to a mentor about it, talk to somebody there, talk to your parents, just get advice from all different directions, because ultimately, you're going to make the decision. You're an adult. Like, no one's going to tell me not to go, or if they are, like, I'm still going to go because I can make my own decision. But I would think about it a little bit more. I would learn something about the culture, because honestly, this was 2021. It was around, COVID time was kind of clearing up. Yeah. But also, I didn't even know that. I didn't know the history that maybe like 30, 40 years prior, it was kind of a communist country. I had no idea. Oh, no idea. I found that out real quick. Out. Yeah. So it just, if you're going to a different country, learn a little bit about the culture,
the government. Yeah,
those are really important.
Those are important things, especially if you're a female going over to another country. Yeah.
I would never really like wing it, because I went because I knew there were other Americans and my friend specifically, so I had comfort. Yeah, but I would definitely advise younger Siobhan, hey, let's think about this. And let's sit with this idea for a week or two, talk to more people.
Yeah. If they say, oh, you have 4 days, would you tell someone maybe ask for longer days, ask for a week, ask for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I would say this is a tough one. It's tough because it could be a good opportunity, and of course you don't want to miss it. However, there are going to be other ones that come up. Like, I know it's really hard to advise, because say I said no, then I could be out for that half season, and then I don't have a contract. I'm like, shoot, I should have taken that. Yeah. But then I wouldn't have known that it was going to be shitty, and like maybe I didn't miss out on it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have learned. It was an experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, in the end, the experience is very valuable. I'm happy that I did stick it out, but I'm just kind of, I feel like it sucked that I had to go through X, Y, and Z in order to get that. Yeah. But yeah.
But that's why you have this podcast now, and you can help other girls that are wanting to play after college, and just to know the back stories and just give them tips.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, all for a purpose, bigger picture. Yes. And the last thing I want to end on is something I feel like I should have mentioned the first time I opened my mouth, was that my coach was dating a girl on the team.
Stop. No.
Who was a captain.
The one that told you to get the balls.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Who was
Wait, how old was she?
17.
How old was
42.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to let that marinate with everybody for this week.
Are you going to get into that on the next episode?
Next episode, you'll hear all about how I come to find out about the relationship, what that dynamic looked like.
I want to know, how long were they dating for? Okay, well, next episode. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm shook.
Oh, we were shook too.
My heart is racing. Stop.
I'm sweating.
17 and 42?
Sounds like a song. 1742.
Well, it's 1748, but...
Oh, no wonder.
1748.
So, yeah, I'm going to end on that note, but thank you for the probing questions. Thanks for listening to me.
Oh my god, I can't wait till the next episode. I'm shook.
Yeah, next episode we focus on how it is not unheard of for there to be relationships of that sort.
Ew. Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Yeah, tune in next week. But thank you so much.
Oh my god, I had so much fun. It was so good for me too, because I was able to learn more about your experience.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done a good job at suppressing. I've talked to this. No, I suppressed it for a while, which by the way was I was trying to start the podcast and I wanted to impulsively be like, hey, I'm starting next week. Yeah. It's dropping next week. But then I realized, I actually have a lot to unpack.
You have a lot to unpack.
And I don't want to out people. I don't really want to get in trouble. I want to protect certain parties. And then I want to be able to come at it from a different lens. So I'm happy that I'm speaking about it now after I've gotten a degree, after I've talking to people about it.
And it's been a while to where you can kind of not separate your emotions, but kind of separate from it.
No, I can do that now.
It wasn't, yeah.
I'm not crying. Yeah, you see any tears?
I was crying from the 17 and 42-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So again, thank you. And next week is where the real juicy info comes in.
Can't wait.